In today's lesson, I want to walk you through how you can build your single jab into an effective double jab, and then your double jab into an effective triple jab. And then, how do you take your triple jab and turn it into a quadruple jab to close the distance against a fighter that is either moving backwards or angling off of you, and you're not able to close the distance. The most common jab that you'll see is you're in your boxing stance and somebody throws a jab. That's it. They throw one jab, or they throw one jab at a time. So what they're going to do is they're going to shoot a jab, wait, shoot two jabs. And so as you shoot those jabs, each jab has a different meaning. So when you're shooting a single jab like that, you're most likely just trying to bait your opponent, establish your distance, keep them off of you, or you're trying to set up your left hand. But specifically in this video, what I want to walk through is how do you turn your single jab into an effective double jab, take that double jab, build it into a triple jab, and then use that triple jab and turn it into a quadruple jab, so that you can close the distance or keep your attacking fighter off of you. As you shoot your jab, you know that you need to turn it over completely. But the double jab isn't necessarily shooting here, coming back, shooting here, all right? Double jab is you bring your hand, say halfway back, 75% back. I don't know, I don't measure it. I just know how to throw a double jab. You just don't want to bring it all the way back. So I'm here. All right, that's my double jab. And I'll use the double jab to, number one, keep an opponent off of yourself. You want to use the double jab to maybe set up that left hand, or maybe you just want to use that double jab because you're being crowded by your orthodox fighter as a southpaw. So you want to keep your hands up, and you just want to build on that double jab. And I'm tapping it. It's not stiff, and that's the beauty of the double jab. It doesn't have to be extremely stiff and powerful, but it can be, and I'll show you how right now. So the first jab, if you tap the first jab, and you build a rhythm of you're just tapping those two jabs, so you're, I'm here. All right, they're not very powerful. But if I go and I tap that first, I'm able to push my opponent back with that second jab. And that's what I want to do now. Take that single jab that we just turned into a double jab, and I want to make that double jab much more powerful. And that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you're putting as much as you can behind that second jab so that you change the rhythm, you change the pace, and you change the power and snap that you're putting behind that second jab. Now, the third thing I want to teach you is how to throw a triple jab. And the reason you want to use a triple jab is because sometimes you may throw a jab, single, you won't land it. You may throw a double jab. You may land one punch. You may not land both punches. With a triple jab, your odds of landing a punch are much greater than just by throwing one jab. Because if you're able to throw punches in bunches, most people don't expect a third jab coming down the pike against a fighter. So with the triple jab, it's going to be a little bit different than the double jab, but somewhat similar. Because with the triple jab, I like to use it when I used to fight to close the distance or to move on the outside of my orthodox fighter. So I'm going to show you how I used it to move on the outside of an orthodox fighter on the bag. So I'm inside, and all I'm going to do is sit, 3 jabs. Maybe one of them landed, maybe 3 of them landed. but it's much more effective than just throwing one jab and trying to move outside with no punches. So the next thing that you can do with your triple jab now is, as a southpaw, instead of moving to the outside, you want to go straight into your opponent. So you want to close that distance, and what you notice is that when you're going to start closing that distance, your punches may become slightly shorter because you're closing the distance against the bag, and in the ring you'll be closing the distance against a fighter. So I start back here, and I'll push the bag back, snapping it back with my jab. And I'm just moving back because this is a drill that I'm doing on the bag. And after I throw those 3 jabs, I can set up a left hand. But since I'm only working on developing my jab in this drill, I'm not going to worry about shooting my left hand. Now, as you've worked on that triple jab, how do you turn that triple jab into a quadruple jab? And it's very similar to what we did with the triple jab. You just want to add an extra punch. And the basis behind it is because if you can throw more punches, your likelihood of landing a punch increases drastically when you're throwing an effective jab against your opponent. So with the four jabs, what you want to do is you don't want to throw 1 jab, 2, 3, 4, all right? Because that's just 1 jab at a time. You want to close the distance with the jab, or you want to move to the outside with those 4 jabs. So we're going to work on moving to the outside as a southpaw against our orthodox fighter with 4 jabs. And I'm going to come back inside, and repeat the drill. I'm going to come back inside, repeat the drill. And you'll notice that my left hand stays put. It may move a little bit forward, but I'm covering myself up. So using the 4 jabs, the quadruple jab to move to the outside is a great thing that you can do because you're moving to the outside with keeping something in your orthodox fighter's face as you're moving to the outside. Now the beauty of the 4 jabs is that you can close the distance instead of just coming in blindly or trying to, bob and weave your way in with no punches. You can close the distance with punches, and using 4 jabs is a great way to do that. So with this drill on the bag, what you want to do is you want to shoot those 4 jabs, and then you're just going to move back, reset yourself, and do the same thing. And then repeat. So the jab is extremely critical to your success in the boxing ring. And if you can take the single jab and turn it into a double jab, it's great. But if you can take that double jab, turn it into a triple jab or a quadruple jab, it increases your chances of not only landing more punches, but throwing your opponent off his game plan, because there's not a lot of fighters that are throwing more than 3 or 4 jabs at a time. What are your thoughts? If you're new here, or if you've been here before, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications. Leave your comments down below and have an amazing day.